All right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Today's song is the anniversary song. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but I think I'll just go right into it and start playing the song. Oh, thank you. Oh, my goodness. Wow. It's been a while since I played this song. So, the reason why I chose this song this month, I was going in my head all month long and I was looking at my calendar. My mom's birthday is on the 2nd. And those, because I got a lot of birthdays and things like that. And I looked and I went, oh, wait a second. My parents' anniversary is coming up this Wednesday. And they are married 38 years and they've been together 40. So 38 years as of this Wednesday. I thought, anniversary song, just because it had the word anniversary. And actually, this Saturday will be my 10-year anniversary with my significant other. Yes. So that's amazing. She put up with me for that long. So, and just so you know, a lot of people confuse anniversary song with the anniversary waltz. Anniversary waltz is a totally different song, totally different melody. And what I have here, looked it up, and I'll just put it up here. There's a couple of tidbits on the song if you want to research it, but I researched it for you, and I'll put it up on the screen here. Let's see. Let me get rid of this. Oh, that's just my Zoom thing. That's not what I want. That's the announcement. Oh, here we go. So, anniversary song. Can you see that there, Sue Kelly?
No.
Can you see this where it says song facts?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So it said this is based on the song The Waves of the Danube. I think it's also titled Danube Waves. There's another title for it. You can do some research and correct me on that if I'm wrong, or anybody who goes and looks. I believe the alternate title for the song is Danube Waves, but it's based on the song The Waves of the Danube, which was written by the Romanian composer. I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but it looks like Ivanovici, Al Josen, and the songwriter. Did you know Al Josen was affiliated with the song? Did you know that? Yes. You're going to leave here with a wealth of knowledge worth millions. Wrote it for the movie The Jolson Story. Unlike most of the songs that were in the movie, this song was not the one of the songs that Joseph performed during his early career. It was recorded and introduced for this picture. And then on Wikipedia, there's a lot there, but if you zoom in on, it has a lot of the similar information. says, Waves of the Danube became well known in the United States only half a century later. Al Jolson and Saul Chaplin published in 1946 under the name of the anniversary song. And there's some of the words. I was asked where the lyrics. Oh, how we danced on the night where we were wed. And their as their own composition, etc., etc., etc. So, anyway, that's a little bit about this song and its history. But this is kind of interesting. Now, if you're looking at the music there, let me put it up on the screen. I know most of you, hopefully you printed it out. I
No.
sent it online, and I printed it out. Oh, Joni, you came on. Great. Joni, are you there? Joni Monero? I see her head. You ever see the TV show from way back, Home Improvement? Remember the next door neighbor? Yeah. Hi, Joni. Can you hear me? Joni? Okay, well, but apparently not. She must not be able to hear. I want her to keep an eye on the waiting room is what it is. Keep people waiting. But anyway, so what was I saying before I got distracted? I chose this song. I haven't played it in a while. Oh, I did all that. Okay. Anyway, the music. I was getting ready to put the music up. So the music, if you printed out your music, it looks something like this. You're going to notice, like I always do, I always create my own presets. Now I'm going to tell you, it's very important that you take very good notes today, okay? Please take notes. I started typing it up last week, but I had a very, very, very busy schedule. So it started, 8 in the morning, ended by the time I got to the hotel and all that, it ended very late. So I was doing a little bit along the way. So I'm going to type up a lot of the notes and post them on our Patreon, but I'm going to encourage you to take as good a notes as possible. Now I'm going to give you a lot of information as far as setups, but the secret to this song really, what I was trying to accomplish when I put this arrangement together way back, was using different waltz styles, not just one, okay? And we'll get into that. But if you look at your music, normally when I do presets and I give the setups and I save them, I usually put them numerically in order, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. It doesn't matter. However many I use, I usually just go right in order. If there's 7 setups, it's usually 1 through 7. If there's 10, there's 1 through 10. If it's 4, it's 1 through 4. But if you notice on there, you'll see it says 2. There's no 1. But you'll see a 2, 3. Okay, we're in order now, right? Where's 4? No 4. 5? Any 5? No 5. 6? Oh, there's a 6, a 7, and an 8. So what an earthly clue was I thinking when I did this? You may ask, what were you thinking, Robert? Sue Kelly, you may ask, what were you thinking, Robert?
What were you thinking, Robert?
I have no clue. You guys wore me out in Florida last week. Actually, there are 10 presets from my original version. I have 1 through 10 for my concert version. My concert version, presets 1, 4, and 5 were originally played manually, okay, feet and chords and pedals. And then 9 and 10 were also other setups. They were kind of like bonus setups. Sometimes I do them in concert, sometimes I don't. So when I did the arrangement, I didn't want to have to give you 10 different setups and try to cram it in one lesson. And when I originally put these together, the student version, I wanted to make sure you had just enough arrangement that you can go do it. So that's why. So I'll play it for you a little bit later. So if for those of you who like presets and you're into downloading presets, you'll have all 10. And I'll tell you how to use those, because the way they're set up is you can use them anywhere you want. You don't have to, like, do I use here, there, or there? All right, so there's the setups, 2, 3, 7, 8, and then 6, okay? So let's start with number 2, okay? And the trick to these setups, like I said, is It's about using, I'm going to say, depending on your organ, as many styles as you can, waltz styles that you like, because some organs only have 2 or 3 waltzes. Some have 7 or 8. Okay? So here's what I'm going to tell you right now. I use, in the arrangement that I'm teaching today, I use 1, 2, 3 waltzes. All right? So I use 3 different waltzes. If your organ has 4 or 5 waltzes, you're going to want to use 3 of the 5, okay? I'm going to tell you the waltzes I used in case you have them, but if you don't, you'll want to make a note to yourself to use an alternate waltz. Again, the idea is to try to use different waltzes with it, just to change the flavor. The right hand sounds will change a little bit, but you're going to hear a lot of strings, orchestral strings throughout, okay? Now, for starters, what I did is I used a waltz called the Viennese Waltz. Okay? Yes, on number 2. On the music A2, I use a Viennese Waltz. In fact, A2 and A3 on the music, I use a Viennese Waltz.
Okay.
All right? Yep. A2 and A3 is a Viennese Waltz.
Okay.
All right? A6, I use a Lullaby Waltz.
Okay.
And then A7 and 8, I use a waltz called Bojangles. Okay? So if you like what you heard when I was playing, now beware, classroom. Here's the Viennese Waltz. Dramatic. Ooh. And it's okay. And if you hear number 3, it's the same, like I said, as me. All right. Now, if you listen to the Lullaby Waltz, I just thought this was clever of me. Oh, pretty. Okay. So, you know, if you have one of the smaller models, just find 3 waltzes, okay? A lot of the touchscreen models have the Viennese Waltz, by the way. Okay?
Robert,
Yes.
did you have to save them in presets?
I saved them in presets, but I'm going to tell you what I did in each of these presets.
Oh, okay.
And I'll have them typed up by the end of the weekend on our Patreon, so you'll be able to download. But I'm still going to encourage you to take notes, because that's might be a week from now. It might be 4 days from now. And I want you to at least try it. Most importantly, the way the song is written, if you have it, the other reason why I did it this way is to keep it simple. The song follows, let me put it up on the screen so everybody can see it. It's on my iPad there, but it's very tiny. All right. So if you just forget about setup for a minute, let's talk about the way the order of the song goes, okay? I wonder if I can. Is it still showing up on your end out there?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So if you notice, the song starts off here. You'll see it says A minor intro, by the way. Use the introduction in A minor. Most people make the mistake and they put the E chord. Don't, because the song is in A minor.
Okay.
All right? So when you use the introduction, use A minor for the introduction, because it immediately goes into the next chord. That's why. Nope, you play A minor. No transposing. Actually, I did. I transposed to B flat, down 2 half steps. Yeah. But even if you didn't, it doesn't matter. Just the point is you're going to hit A minor for your introduction using the introduction. Okay? So you don't want to start off, here's an E7th chord. nice and happy, and it almost sounds funny. It doesn't sound right musically. Now, if you do A minor, watch this. Oh, dramatic. Real love power. All right. Now, so on the music, if you just follow the way the song goes, you play it one time through, okay? And then it has the repeat. So you do just that. You repeat, you go back to the beginning, and that's when I do the third, the quote third setup, all right? So I start off with, I'm going to give you the setups, but I'm just telling you the order I did it in first, okay? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So A2 starts off, and I play it one time through, and then when I get to the first ending, I go back to the beginning here, like it says, and then I'll do the third setup that I'll give you. And then I play it through, okay? And then when I get to the second ending, you obviously skip to the second ending, okay? And then it says A6. So I'll give you that, what I'm using, but it'll go from to A6, and then it'll play the rest of the song all the way down to the ending, okay? To the end of the song.
Robert,
Yes?
what does DS mean?
That's what I'm getting ready to tell you.
Oh,
Now
sorry.
you'll notice that there's a little thing that says DS. And then there's a little, I think they call that a coda. And basically what this is telling you, the layman's version is, it's telling you to go back to this symbol, okay?
Oh, I see.
Which is at the beginning, all right?
Okay.
But what I do is, essentially the way the music is written here, it's telling you to go back to the beginning and play it and then done. But what I do is I go back to the beginning and I play the top part twice through. So I go back to the beginning and I'll do the seventh setup, which I'll tell you.
Okay.
And then I do that again on the eighth setup, and then I finish. Okay? So I'm going to very quickly say what I just said. So in the beginning, I'm going to start off with preset 2, which I'll give you. One ending. Go back. I'm going to give you the third setup. You play it through to the second ending. Then from here, you're going to get the sixth setup, and you're going to play it all the way down to the end of the page. And then you're going to go, when you get down here, you're going to go all the way back to the beginning and play the top part twice again.
Oh,
But it'll be 7 and then 8.
Robert, to those dots.
Yeah, so when I go back and repeat it, I'll play it all the way through here to the 2 dots, and then I'll play it one more time on my 8th setup, and I'll go all the way back, and I'll do the second ending.
Okay.
Okay? Kind of like what I did in the beginning. All right? That's why I left out preset 1, 4, 5, 9, and 10, because there's a lot more repeating and a lot more stuff. But I'll explain it to you later that if you get the presets, you can kind of use them however you want. But today I'm just focusing on the numbers that you're getting. Okay? Now, so for starters, I started off with a Viennese Waltz. I used just a basic introduction in the organ. I used some basic string sounds. Some of you have an 8-foot strings tab on the organ. Some of you have it built in here on the screen. Some of you had it on the dashboard. Most people have a string, an orchestral string. Another place that you can find it is in your orchestrals. So in here it says strings ensemble. Everybody has a string ensemble on their organ. Even our little beginner's model. The very first model has a strings ensemble in the instrument, okay? I just wanted something real simple. Viennese Waltz, I'm playing it now. Don't be alarmed, but I'm playing at 165.
Ooh.
It sounds fast, but that's the tempo. But listen to it. You're not playing a lot of eighth notes in this. So that's all I did.
It tastes good, but it's a little dry.
What's that?
Okay.
Maybe they didn't mute themselves. They were talking about something else. So I started out with a Viennese Waltz. I'm at a tempo of 165. I chose to transpose it down 2 half steps, which the window shows B flat. Okay? And the melody sound that I used, 8-foot strings. This is all, yeah, the first setup, which is the number 2 setup. 8-foot strings and strings ensemble in the orchestral. Nice, plain and simple, right? Now, what a lot of people are surprised at, and these particular presets that you're getting today, I don't use a chord in my left hand at all. Now, let me rephrase. I don't use a chord sound. I have to play the chords, but I don't have a sound on. Listen. There's no chord humming there. On any of the presets that you're going to get today, the setups, none of them have a sound in the left hand. I'm focusing on the orchestra and the melody. That's it. So what you heard earlier, when I played the song, that's all what you're going to get today. Someone have a question, I think?
I do. Let me find it. Oh, transpose down to B flat. I know where transpose is, but what do you mean down to B flat?
You
What's
just
that?
you just take your transpose and you hit it down 2 notches.
Oh,
So the window says B flat.
okay.
Okay?
You.
Now, if you forget to do that, it's not the end of the world. The song is still going to sound good.
Okay.
All right. So the first part is like you heard it. All right. Then I play that one time through, and then the music says go back to the beginning and play it again. So then I do my third setup. What do I use in my third setup? Let's see if you can hear it. Anybody know what happened? What I changed there? And listen to, here's number 1. I'll play the melody first. And here's, I'm sorry, number 1. Number 2. And then here's the third setup. They sound the same, don't they?
Yeah.
But let me play them both one after the other with the rhythm. Ready? Here we go. Here's number 2. Okay, now here's number 3. Listen.
Okay.
Did you hear it? Can you hear it over there in Florida? You know, we are a couple thousand miles away, so maybe.
Yeah, but the distinction is it's slower on.
No, it's not. No, it's not slower. But did you hear something in the melody? Okay, let me let the cat out of the bag. All I did is I added a harmony.
Oh, for
Yeah.
heaven's sakes. Oh.
Let me see what harmony I used. Oh, I used a harmony called hymn.
Huh.
Not H-I-M, H-Y-M-N. Okay? I'm not chauvinistic here, guys and gals.
Okay.
Hymn, like a hymnal, like the word hymn. Yeah, you know, church hymn. But when Lowry put a harmony called hymn, it's the harmony, what it does, don't quote me on this, but what it used to do is when you play one note, it'll play a 3-note chord like an AOC. You know, AOC plays 3 notes with one finger close to each other, and it takes one other note and it brings it down, I think, an octave. Okay? Now, what if I don't have a hymn harmony? What do? Use AOC. Maybe use 4-part. Just the point is throw in a harmony. AOC is a harmony. Okay? There's a button that says harmony, and when you push it upper in the screen, you get 15 of them. And I chose him. Okay? So, really, setup 2 and 3 are the exact same setup. The only difference is when I repeat that part of the song, all I did is I added a harmony. See, my whole idea about Song of the Month is giving you some ideas on how to make arrangements and making good arrangements. And it doesn't take a lot of work to make a good arrangement. And in fact, the minute you're playing a song and you change it and you do something else, you're already an arranger. So don't make the mistake of thinking I'm not an arranger. The minute you start changing sounds, even if you're using things built in, if you're using presets, the minute you use one preset to the other, you're making an arrangement. This one is we're just doing a little bit more work to create the arrangement, okay? So I've got the Viennese Waltz on. You've got the tempo, right? The melody is a strings 8 with a, what did I say? String ensemble together, okay? And the first time through, I don't use a harmony. Second time through, I use the hymn harmony. And that's really the only difference. But what happens is the arrangement starts building a little bit. So here's the first part again a little bit. Okay, now here's the second part when I repeat it, number 3. Okay, so you could hear it's just building up a little bit. Now, it builds up just a little bit. Okay? That was intentional when I made this arrangement. Go ahead. Okay, so remind me to tell everybody when you ask a question because they can't hear you. So I had a question. She said, I told you string ensemble from the orchestral. Most of you have that. I'm going to say 99.99% of you, because hold on, I'm going to answer the question. Then I said use an 8-foot strings tab, and she asked where is that? It's different on the various models, so they're in one of two places. Some of the organs actually have a tab over here. Now, I don't know if you could see me. Over here in this model, the A series, the yellow tabs are right on the dash, right above the keys, okay? On the EY, EX, the upper end EY, EX, they put it in the screen here to bring it closer. So, and when the organ power is up, this is the screen that comes on. You'll see 3 yellow tabs there. One of them is 8 strings, okay? No, the yellow ones. They're always yellow. Can you see that from there? Yeah, they're yellow. They're supposed to be yellow. And if you're colorblind, just look for it. It'll say strings 8. It'll actually say it, because there may be some people who are colorblind. Then if you know Jim Weta, he was the vice president of sales of Lowry for years. We had him many times. He was actually colorblind. I found that out. I used to pick fun at him when he dressed. And then when he told me, I picked more fun at him. We had a good laugh. Okay, moving on. So now I go on to where it says 6. And number 6, the melody changes a little bit. It's a different part of the song. Okay, now I have to tell you, sometimes when I play that part, I goof it up. Because you got to play those notes pretty fast, right? I'll show you a little trick I do sometimes. People think I do it on purpose. Well, I do it on purpose because sometimes I just can't, I forget what the notes are. But let me tell you the setup that I'm doing first. So I switch styles from this to this. Oh, isn't that just pretty? Oh, there's something going on in there. The first thing that's happening is I change the rhythm. Okay, that's why I said earlier, change the rhythm. Okay? You'll have to see what waltz rhythms you have, And you may have to choose, like if you don't have Viennese Waltz, you have to select 3 rhythms and choose which ones you want to use and where. Okay? You may make a decision only you choose waltz rhythms, and that's okay. Just go kind of back and forth. Just make sure that the waltz rhythm that you use in this part of the song and the beginning is different. So essentially, if someone had 2 waltz rhythms that they would like to use on their instrument, I would use one in the beginning of the song. I would use the other one for the second half of the song. And when I go back and repeat the beginning, I would go back to the original. So alternate them is the point. Okay?
Oh.
The waltz rhythm that I'm using now, I will tell you, is called lullaby.
Mhm.
Lullaby commonly sounds like this. It's a little slower usually, but let me put it on a little bit slower here.
Robert,
Hold on 1 second, Sue. Here's what lullaby usually comes up as. Does that sound familiar? Some of you may have heard it. Okay, but because of the way I'm doing the tempo, it's going to be like this. All right. Okay, Sue, do you have a question?
I do. On A2 and 3, you added the harmony, the hymn harmony. When you press the other button for the lullaby, does that harmony go off when you?
Well, I don't know that. Let me see. No, I do not use a harmony, so I turn it off.
Oh.
But let me tell you what I have set up first. I have the Lullaby Waltz. Oop, let me put my setup on. Okay, just as I thought. So here's the cool thing about this. Same melody. Okay? And I'm going to stand corrected because I had a different setup on, that's why. I was showing you the original. I actually kept the exact same melody on the top, the same strings as number 3. So the string ensemble, the 8-foot string, and the harmony. What changed was the rhythm.
Exactly.
Okay? That was the major change. It's interesting because I don't play this song a lot in concert, but when I do, a lot of people think I'm doing a lot of different things in this, and I'm really not. The thing that's changing the most are the rhythms. All right? So let me play the last part of the third setup and then go into number 6. Okay? Let's see here. Number 6, here we go. And I might use a little fill in here just to hold it on. Okay? You hear it? So did you hear the difference between going from here and then I go into the Lullaby Waltz? And the trick I have sometimes I just run my finger up. I'll start on the B on the music and I'll run it up to the A. So instead of playing, all right, sometimes I'll just start on the B note and then I'll slide it up to the A. So you can do that in a number of ways. I don't always get it right. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I miss it. Now, I played it to the bottom of the page. And at the bottom of the page, it sort of tells you go back to the beginning. Now, when I go back to the beginning, and I'm going to do my 7th and 8th setup, okay, I'm going to basically play that top part twice through like it was in the beginning, and then I'll end on the A minor. And actually, it says it right there. See? No, go to the top. At the very end, now I go back to the top, the other top, that top. I go to the top and I play it through the first. See the end, the little ending, the repeat? Go to there, and then I repeat. No. No, here, I'll show you. Just so to be clear. All right, everybody, can you see it up on the TV there? I know it's in the way, but. So when I get to here, see my little arrow here? I'm going to play it all the way down to here, okay? And then I'm going to go back to the beginning, and I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to go to here, and then go back and do the 8th setup again, and then I end on that one. So I do this top part twice, okay? Just like the beginning. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I actually mean what it says in there. Sometimes I butcher it up and change it all around. But let's figure out, what did I use in 7 and 8? Let's see. There was a slight change. Let me go back to number 6. I did change some things in the right hand. I did make some changes, and I don't know if you can tell. Now, what I did do is the sounds that I had earlier, you know, I said 8-foot strings and strings ensemble. I used those throughout the entire song, okay? So that's still the same for 7, yes, and for 7 and 8, I'm still using strings ensemble in the orchestral. And I'm using the 8-foot string. So that's the same. However, I made a couple changes to the right hand. The first thing I did, where is it? Aha. Aha, there it is. I knew it was in there. I added, write this down, I added bells and oboe. Oh, I can't keep it the same all the way through now. I might get bored playing the song. I added bells. Now, if you can add both of the sounds, if depending your most models can do 3 sounds together, but if you have a little bit of difficulty, make sure to go with the bells because you want the bells in there. And the oboe is just a nice little touch. Okay, so here's the melody sound. Can you hear it there? And then when you're playing with a harmony, it's the same harmony, by the way, the hymn harmony, or AOC, okay? Oops, here we go. Okay, so far so good.
So where do you go to add the bells and oboe?
Number 7. The question is, where do you?
No. In the
Oh, I go to the orchestral on the dash. The question is where do I get the bells and the oboe? Okay. So on your dash, where you either have sounds or genius, depending on the model you have, you would add the right. So earlier I said I'm using the 8-foot strings. Okay. Remember I said I'm using the 8-foot strings? And then I said string ensemble is in the orchestral. Well, most people have two orchestral sounds they could put on together. Okay? So in the other orchestral, you want to add the bells.
So how do you add simultaneously the bells and the
You
oboe?
just go to the sound button there and you scroll.
And how do you keep the two, the bells and the oboe?
Well, the sound one has the string ensemble and sound two has the bells.
And where's the oboe?
Oh, the oboe's in the solo.
So
You can put up to 4. You can put up to 4.
to four.
Yeah. Well, most of the big models can put up to 4.
So the oboe.
That's why I said some models, some models can only put 3 on or 2 on. You want to go with the bells first because you want the bells in there. The oboe kind of blends in with the sound. Okay. Now the style that I use, I changed waltzes there. I didn't tell you which. I told you earlier, but in case you missed it, I use Bojangles.
Yep.
Okay. Bojangles, the style is pretty when you hear the introduction, but when you're doing it in the minors, it's a totally different vibe. Key to this is change the waltz styles. Okay. And I'm using the same strings and throughout the song. The same setup in the beginning is basically throughout the entire song. The only time I added something different was at the very end. 7 and 8, I added bells and oboe. Okay? And they're all at the same tempo. Now,
Everything's
all right, are we good so far? Because there's one more thing.
I have a question.
Yes.
The bells and oboe, do you put them on a separate preset or do you add it on the?
No, I
the-
added to the sounds that you're using.
Oh, okay.
So the whole entire song, you're using the 8-foot strings and the string ensemble and the orchestral. That's throughout the entire song, no matter what. Harmony, no harmony, doesn't matter, whatever the setup is. At the very end, on number 7, that's when I add bells and oboe.
Okay.
I have
Robert,
the harmony on. The harmony was on. Once the harmony is on, I think it's on the rest of the song, right?
Robert,
No, that was a
Robert, excuse
mistake.
me.
What?
Robert, excuse me. I
Yes.
have a question. There's so many bells under sounds. Is there a specific bell that you used?
Yeah, you ready for this? It's
Yes.
just called bells.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. There are bells. Like if I touch the bells and then I scroll, there's bells Caroline, there's bells Celesta, there's bells Church, there's bells Crystal, there's bells Echo, there's bells Glockenspiel, there's bell hands, there are bells, the bells Tinkle, bells Repeat, bells Tinkle. That's what it says, bells Tinkle. I just used the one that said, ready for this? It just says bells. I wanted to keep it simple, just bells. Now, if you use some of those others, they probably will work as well. I think the Carillon is a little bit more. Oh, wait, let me put that preset on with. It's more like a chime, but the other bells will be, they're all very similar. But I just used the one that said bells. That was it.
Number 32. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, actually, it is number 32. If it just says bells, then you're okay. Now, on number 8, I did one little extra thing in here, okay? On number 8, there's one little extra thing I did. All right? Do you remember the strings I said to use was 8-foot strings?
Mhm.
I remember what else? String ensemble. The bells is okay. It's nice, but I added one little extra thing here. Nope. Huh? Nope. That's all right. The drums is there the whole time. Here's number 7. Let me go back to the top of the page. Here's number 8. You hear it? Huh? There's an organ sound in there. I did go up an octave because of the setup I used. So you'll notice on the music it says in real tiny print 8 VA on preset A8. Does it say it on the music there?
Yes.
There's real tiny words up there.
Right
On the
under
8th setup, the reason why I go up an octave is because I add an 8-foot and a 2-foot flute. Okay? Or an organ sound. Some of you don't have the individual flute tabs. There's an 8-foot and a 2-foot flute. Hold on. 8-foot and a 2-foot. Okay?
Mhm.
And then you're going to get, because it, you hear that? So here's the first one, the 7. Same thing. Here's 8. Okay? Now, the reason why I said go up an octave is because most of the time that I'm playing, my melody I'm playing here. Okay? 1, 2, 3, third C from the top. Everything I've been playing has been. Okay? Same thing here. And then number 6, I think I go up a little bit because. But when I go back to the beginning, I play here. Okay, but number 8, I make sure I go up an octave further. That's all that means. So, the best way to say this to you is make sure that when you're doing the 8th setup, if you're doing the setup that I gave you with the flutes in there, what's going to happen is that hymn harmony. Remember, I told you earlier, the hymn harmony takes one of those sounds and it puts it down an octave, one of the notes. So if you play it low, it may get a little muddy. Hear it? So I take it up, I play it here. Just remember to play that 8th setup. 1, 2, 3, above the 4th C. So technically it's an octave, assuming you're playing here the whole time. All right? Just make sure to take your hand and put it here. Okay? Yeah, count 4 C's up and then play the melody from that spot. Okay? All right. Now, before I tell you what happened to number 1 and 4 and 5 and 9, they didn't make the cut. They rehearsed. And I said, no, sorry, guys. But they're there as a bonus in case anybody gets my presets. But before I do a little sharing on that, are there any other questions about anything I taught today? All right. 8-foot flute. She asked, how do you add the organ sound? You touch flute 8 and flute 2. Not many people use these flute tabs if they don't use the organ sounds. So that I like using the organ sounds. Sometimes I use them. Sometimes I use them as a blending sound. But these clear tabs, if you have those, that's what makes organ sounds. Yeah. Well, some of you have an organ, but no, I wouldn't do that. If you have the tabs, I would use 8-foot and 2-foot. if you do any combinations of these, that's how you get organ sounds. You can just combine. Yeah,
You take all those off, you don't have organ?
correct. So, for example, let's see where. Oh, okay. So here's an 8 and 2 foot flute by itself. Okay. But when you blend it with all the other things, it sounds great. But if you use any combination, if you just go like this is what you get. You can do anything you want with these, and you'll get a great organ sound most of the time. Okay? I did that. But is that what it was doing? Okay. All right. So all I did is I used the 8 and the 2 and combined it with everything we were using the whole time. Now, what happened to 1, 4? Okay, 1, I'm not going to go into detail, but originally when I made this arrangement, 1, 4, and 5 were designed to be played without a rhythm, and I had it originally with pedals, but I would start off and have what they call the theater drums. And I kind of did my own little introduction. And then I would go into the song. So those presets are designed, and I reprogrammed them so that if a hobby player uses them, they can do it with 2 fingers. What I'm doing is I play an E7th chord, and I just rotate the notes in the E7th. You can do it all the way up. But then you end on an A minor. Then go into the preset 2 end. All right, so that's why I didn't talk much about 1 today, because it's kind of like it's an optional thing. When I'm done playing number 3, what I used to do is number 5 also. So I used them as if I wanted to just kind of bounce around a little bit and have some fun with the presets. But they are a little dramatic. You can use it however you want. So if you get those presets, and the cool thing is this, any of the presets that I have here, you can play them in any order you want. So I gave you what that arrangement is. But if I wanted to do number 2 and 3, and then maybe I want to do number 4 and 5 where number 6 is, and then maybe go back and do number 6 again, and go to number 7, and go to 10. You can bounce around. The trick is you can go first half of the page. The best thing to do is do this. Take your music. Okay. And let me see if I can do this live. And just kind of right here, consider this one half of the song, second half of the song. So you can let me see if I can do this live. Let's draw a little line here. Whoops, it's not very straight, is it? Whoop. Let me try that again. Sometimes there we go. Sometimes it gives you a straight line. It'll fix it for you. So if you just do this, you got first half of the song, second half of the song. So you can go back and forth on the setups and play them. So I'll play it again, but this time I'll use those additional setups. And listen how, I don't know how it's going to come out. If I tell you now this is what I'm going to do, it may change. But just the key here is that I will use the setups you heard today, but you'll hear number 1, you'll hear number 4 and 5, and you'll hear number 9 and 10 in there as well. Okay. Point is that I constantly alternate. 9 and 10, by the way, have the Viennese Waltz as well, but they're much bigger sounds is all. Okay. So you're going to hear that as well. All right. I'm going to finish. I'll play it one time through. Let's see. All right. Let's start with. Now here's number 2. Number 3, just like I taught. This time I'll do number 4. Six. Seven. Just like I told you. Time I'll go to the second half, but I'll do number 5. Number 8. Number 9 and 10. Here we go. Thank you. So there is a lot happening there. So point is if you're able to get to Patreon and download the presets or go to your local store and grab them, I'll make sure they get them as well. You can use what you had today, but the presets will have the ones that we talked about today and then also the bonus ones, the ones that didn't make the cut. They didn't make the cut. Yeah. All right. And then I'll have all of the typed. I'll get a little bit more specific when I post it on Patreon, I'll put my handout, I'll type it out on what everything I talked about today. Okay? Well, I hope you enjoyed your day. I know some of you I got a chance to see last week when I was in Florida. So it was nice visiting with you. And in Arizona, we have our birthday party. So, yeah, you guys are all wearing me out. I have 2 more birthday parties to do. That's a lot of birthday parties. I'm a party animal, right? Well, thank you so much. And as always, keep playing music, stay safe, and mwah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
See you real
you,
soon.
thank you, thank
Bye-bye.
you.